AI is the best and worst thing for humanity, or artificial intelligence needs to be built in union with humanity. Wow, what do you think? These are statements said by Elon Musk as he was giving us his thoughts about AI. And now, today, we'll be talking about the power of AI in today's world here at the Scottish Summit. I'm Narcisse Mbuyu, and I'm here live at the Scottish Summit 2021 and room Humby at 5. Thank you for joining. Firstly, I would like to thank our sponsors for making the Scottish Summer 2021 possible. Even though we're having this pandemic and going through a hard and tough time, we are able to have this event live, and it's managed to pull through thanks to these sponsors. Really no way where we'll be without these sponsors, and I just would like to give them a shout out for making this event possible. Secondly, I'd also like to thank Mark Christie for organizing this event and giving me this platform to showcase and to tell you guys about the power of AI in today's world. I'd just like to give him a thanks and a shout out for giving me this platform. So before I begin, I would like to firstly say a little bit about myself. My name is Narcisse Mbuyu. I'm a software development student at DUT, currently doing my third year. I'm also a beta Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador. I'm a member of the DUT IoT Club, and I'm a tech enthusiast that loves to help people. That's all. That's in short brief about me. And below are my socials, as you can follow me after the event. Thanks.
Artificial intelligence isn't coming, it's here. It's the defining technology of our time. But it's human ingenuity that makes it so powerful. Jane started losing her vision when she was 12. California Street. She uses Seeing AI. I crept down the stairs and out the door, which enables her to read and navigate her world. Microsoft AI is helping farmers adapt to climate change.
We can use technology to help feed the world without wrecking the planet.
Enabling wildlife conservation.
The ability to use AI really democratizes science. WildMe uses images from any source to help study endangered species.
And creating new ways for people with hearing loss to communicate.
I want the exact same information that my hearing friends have.
It's more than just imitating intelligence or sounding like a human. Microsoft AI is changing every industry, from healthcare.
And now you can see these finite details, the relationship with many structures,
to engineering and telecommunications.
We are using artificial intelligence to change the way we are relating to customers.
AI lets us put people first.
The Microsoft tools really enabled us to breathe digital life into an iconic brand persona.
The product that we make is not a thing in a box.
No.
Microsoft AI empowers others to create experiences and potential. This is just the beginning.
Artificial intelligence, it's just opened up this whole world.
The future we invent is a choice we make.
There you go. That's the power of AI in today's world. That is the capability and the potential that AI has to bring into our world, into our everyday life. And now we're gonna slowly take a look at what does it offer, what can it change, what does it bring, and what can we do about it? How is it helping us? That's how we're gonna figure out what kind of power does AI have in our world, in our society, and what we can do with it. Let's begin. So before we begin, we would like to first look at what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? In simple terms, artificial intelligence is the intelligence that is shown or demonstrated by machines. And it's by machines. So as humans, we have something called natural intelligence. That natural intelligence is what defines us, right? Natural intelligence is what we have that demonstrates our IQ, that AI demonstrates our smarts, our capability to do our everyday things. That is our natural intelligence. But with natural intelligence, it's limited in a way because as humans, we are really very limited. But now, with the help of artificial intelligence, it helps us to do things that we can't even do. Basically makes up for all our limitations, you know. So that's why we're gonna be speaking about artificial intelligence and how it helps to make up for those limitations that we're not able to do, that we aren't able to make, So yes, what is artificial intelligence? As I said earlier on, that artificial intelligence is the intelligence demonstrated or shown by machines. And and AI simply, as I said, it makes up for our limitation. It simply tries to replicate the human brain. So let's think about it for a moment, right? As humans, we can speak and communicate through language. We can read and write text in a certain language. We can also make sense of the environment around us. All of this is able through our natural intelligence. That's what we're able to do, and also we can also process things from our eyes. We're also able to view and visualize things from our eyes. And now we have also given the same capabilities to AI to do the same things that we can, but even at a better rate. As I said, it makes up for our limitations. What we are limited, AI comes in and fills up for that limitation. So let's thoroughly look at what is AI. So as I said, as human beings, we have senses, right? We have our eyes, sense of sight. We have touch. We have feel. We have we have five senses: touch, the feel. What else? What else? What are our five senses? Um, Smell. So these our five senses is what allows us to process information that sends us to our brain. And same thing with artificial intelligence. It works in the same way. So as I said, we have five senses that allows us to make sense of our environment and to process images, to make sense of what is happening around us. Same thing with artificial intelligence. But instead, artificial intelligence uses sensors to make sense of the world around it. They make use of sensors, different types of sensors, to process information, so that it can help to make our shortcomings, so that it can help to make up for our shortcomings. Like, what do I mean by that? So so I say so. AI uses intelligent agents that can perceive the environment and make decisions that maximize the probability of obtaining a specific goal or a result or objective. So, and AI also refers to systems that mimic cognitive functions normally associated with human minds, such as learning and problem solving. So that's what I said. So it uses intelligent agents that can perceive the environment and make decisions that maximize the probability of obtaining a specific goal or objective. That's what, as I said that it uses sensors. We use our five senses to make sense and perceive the world around us. But now these machines, AI, they use sensors, they use agents to make and perceive the world around them, so that they can process information and try and reach a specific goal or an objective. So that's what AI is there. AI is there to achieve a specific goal or an objective, or to make probability based on in the information that is given to them. Another function that AI is there to do is to mimic cognitive functions. So as I said, everything that we can do, AI can do it even better. So it's basically mimicking or copying everything that we're doing, as I said at the beginning. Let's move on. So, what does AI consist of? What makes AI? What are the key components of, the key elements of AI? The key elements of AI include machine learning, anomaly detection, computer vision, natural processing, and the conversational AI. We're going to be going through all these four throughout the session. So let's start with machine learning. Machine learning is, as it says in the name, is basically teaching machines or teaching our devices information so that it can make predictions and draw conclusions from the data that we give it. So as it says in the definition, it's the foundation for an AI system, and it's the way we teach a computer model to make a prediction and draw conclusions from data. So as I said, we have machines, um, we have our devices, we have all these models. By themselves, they cannot do anything. By themselves, if we just leave it there, they cannot do anything. So they need us to feed it information so that it can grow, so that it can achieve the specific goal that it wants. So it's like think of it like in soccer or any sport that you play, or even in maths. In order for you to be good in that specific sport or in that specific subject, you need to practice. You need to practice and reinforce what you're learning so that you can be good at it. So that's the same thing with machine learning. The devices, all these machines that we create, all these machines that we create and have, they cannot do anything unless we give them that functionality, unless we tell them what they're supposed to do, unless we teach them what they're supposed to do. There's a saying, you may have the most expensive calculator, but if you don't know how to use it, it's useless. Same thing with machines. If they do not have information, if they do not have data, they cannot do anything. So they have to learn, just like us. So that is machine learning. With anomaly detection is basically the artificial intelligence detecting mistakes or unusual activity in a system. So, as I said earlier on, that we human beings have limitations, and one of those limitations is not detecting mistakes or faults in certain systems. And we're all guilty of that. There's like for example, I'm a programmer and I code. So when I'm coding and there's like a small comma that I forget, and the program is not running or the code is not running, I spend hours, even 3 hours, trying to debug that code, and only to find out that I missed a comma. So that's how anomaly detection comes in. AI is able to tell us what is wrong, what is missing, what is going wrong in the system, and it helps improve our performance, helps prevent certain things from happening because it detects those mistakes, those errors for us. So that's what anomaly detection does. Let's move on to computer vision. Computer vision. So computer vision is the ability of the software to interpret the world around it, to visualize it through cameras, videos, and images. So as I said, as human beings, we have eyes to see and perceive the world around us. But machines don't. Instead, they have cameras. The cameras, they use those cameras to visualize and see what's going on, and to also feed it information. What is that information? Videos and photos and images. So those are the information that it gets fed through the camera. So we can say that the eyes of machines are cameras. We can take a look, we can say that. So computer vision is basically the ability of the machine or the software to interpret the world through the camera and video and images. So to process it, to analyze it, to classify it, all of these things, that's what computer vision does. The same way I may look at a picture of a soccer ball and I'm able to determine that it's a ball. The same way I'm able to look at a picture of a code and I'm able to determine that it's a code. Same thing with computer vision. Computer vision gives us the same capability. If I see a man walking on the street, I'm able to say that this is a man walking on the street. My brain tells me that it's a man walking on the street. Same thing with computer vision. If we train it, we say that this is a picture of a man walking on the street. It's now aware of that picture. Next time we show the picture of a man walking on the street, or he sees a man walking on the street, is able to visualize and tell us that this is a picture of a man walking on the street. And we're gonna be seeing that throughout the session. The next part of the next key element of AI is natural language processing. And as I said earlier on, we communicate and talk through using language. The same thing uh, AI does as well. They also need to communicate. Machines communicate with ones and zero using binary digits. That's how machines around the world communicate. But in order for us to communicate to us humans as well, they use NLP, natural language processing. So it's the capability of a computer to interpret written or spoken language and respond in a kind. So we cannot understand ones and zero, ones and zero, ones and zero, ones and zero. There's no way for us to understand that. But instead, the AI or machines use NLP to talk back to us, to feed us, to tell us what's going wrong, or to respond to what we have asked it. And we're going to get to see that as well throughout the session. And last but not least, conversational AI. So the conversational AI is the capability of a software or agent to participate in a conversation. As I said earlier on, we cannot speak ones and zero, ones and zero. That's how machines speak to each other. That's how they communicate. So that's the medium for machines to communicate to each other. But what about to us? We also need to communicate to them. So that's where conversational AI comes in. We can literally have a conversation with a machine. We can literally have a conversation with our phones, with a website. Imagine that all of this makes comes through the use of conversational AI. And let's dive further into all these 4 points that I've just mentioned. Let's understand machine learning even more. So as you can see there, I have a picture of a student. As I said earlier on, we in order for us to be good at something, we have to practice. We have to keep on learning, feeding ourselves information until we master, until we are good at what we're trying to achieve or what we're trying to do. Same thing as I said earlier on with maths, in order for us to be a good math student, in order for us to get good grades in maths, we have to practice, 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 practice. If it's algebra that I don't understand, I have to focus more on algebra, doing a lot of algebra exercises until I master the concept of algebra. Same thing as a student. Even though it doesn't matter, even though it's a lot of books, if those books will help me master the concept, then I must read and practice through those exercises. Same thing with machines and devices. They need to be fed a lot and a lot of data for it to be able to do what we want it to do, in order for it to reach its objective and goal that we want it to reach. So that's where machine learning comes in. Machine learning is the foundation of almost all the AI solutions. All the AI solutions, all those key elements that I've mentioned before, all of them rely on machine learning. They rely on data. They need practice. They need something to feed from in order for it to achieve its goal. So that is machine learning, as feeding information, the devices, its software, the system learning information to achieve its specific goal. And what are those information or data that it needs? It's a subset of AI that uses statistical techniques to give computers the ability to learn from the environment. This enables computers to improve on a particular task without being specifically programmed for that task. So, as it said in the definition, it uses statistical techniques. It uses stats. It uses data that we give it. So we're gonna look at an example. For example, I want to recognize a certain type of plant or recognize a certain type of animal. So I'm going to the zoo and I don't know what's the animal called. So what I can simply do is take pictures of that animal, of all the specific animals available. I take pictures of them and then I put it into a model, and keep and train it until it recognizes that specific animal. So next time I go on to the zoo, I just take a picture of the animal that I want, and it's able to tell me what type of animal it is. So the stats, the stats or the data that I gave it were the pictures of the animal that I wanted to know, that I wanted to know the different types of animals that are there. I classified them and I said, this is a zebra, this is a monkey, this is a lion. So now next time I go to the zoo, I point it out. As it's able to tell me that this is a zebra, this is a monkey, this is a lion because of what I told it, because of what I fed. So that's why it comes back to learning. What we give is what it will give. What we give it is what it will give us. So we can think of it in that concept. So the next point that comes from is big data. What is data? Data is information that comes from a variety of sources, so such as people, pictures, text, sensors, and websites. Data comes from technology devices like cell phones, computers, kiosks, tablets, and cash registers. So everyone, everywhere we go, every single day of our life, the moment we surf the internet, the moment we use our devices, our cell phones, we all releasing data. We all giving off data that gets fed to the machine so that it's able to learn our habits, so that it's able to know what we're doing with our cell phones, what apps we use the most. All of this comes from the data that we give it. And you wonder how your Facebook, your Google, they know a lot about you. They know about what you search. They know about what you're doing on the internet. They know, like, there's so many things that's being tracked because of the data that we give it. As one may say that data is the most valuable thing right now on earth. So the most valuable possession right now on earth is data, and it really goes a long way. So that's why we must be careful with data. So what is the relationship between data and with machine learning? The relationship is simple. Data, um, machine learning needs data for it to learn, and we give it that data for it to learn. So that is machine learning in a brief. But let's look at more about it. Let's
Right now, artificial intelligence helps us meet the needs of today so we're prepared for tomorrow.
By 2050, we need to produce 60% more food. So how are we going to feed the world without wrecking the planet? Using Microsoft Artificial Intelligence, we can reduce waste and produce more food. Any grower will tell you every row, every crop is different. We can use Microsoft AI to make local predictions about light, wind, rain. This helps farmers know when to plant, irrigate and harvest. It's making a difference.
Artificial intelligence helps farmers grow more while wasting less.
So there you go. We just saw machine learning in action. So with that example that we saw over there, we saw that the company they yield, they want to they are a farming company which want to plant their vegetation and all the vegetables, basically farming. So in order for them to farm, there's a lot of concept and elements to consider: the weather, the type of soil, and all of this. They need clarification before they can do any sort of farming. So with the use of machine learning, they take a look at the weather for that specific day. For example, let's use that as an example. So like today, since it's the Scottish summer, the 27th of February. So they feed that information of the 27th of February from the previous years. So 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, all the previous day or years on the 27th of February, what was the weather like? What can we expect? What was the weather like? What happened on that specific day? How did things turn out on the previous years? And with all those information, they're using that information to predict what will happen next year or the coming days, so that they're able to determine what to do, or know what to do on that specific day when it comes. So, for example, if the 27th of February every year has been raining, there's a high chance that it's going to rain again. And that's what the machine learning will tell me. And it will tell me whether it's a good day or a bad day to plant my vegetables. So that is an example. Another small example that we can look at is how machine learning works. As I said with the previous example about going to the zoo, I take pictures of a zebra, of a lion, of a monkey, and I feed it to the machine learn to the machine, and it's able to tell me what type of animal it is. Same thing with this flower. For example, over here, I want to determine the type of flowers. I want to know what type of flowers it is. So I take samples of flowers. As you can see, there's different types of flowers. I feed it into my sample, and now I train it so that it's able to know what type of flower it is. And there you go. It's able to recognize what type of flower are pointed at, as you see in the small animation, the small animation. So that's how machine learning works. It needs data. It needs to be fed data in order for it to help us or achieve its specific goal or aim. So how can we use machine learning in today's world? Well, Microsoft Azure offers us a lot of options in order for us to use or make use of machine learning in our everyday life. There's automated machine learning, Azure Machine Learning Designer, data and compute management, and pipelines. So the first two, automated machine learning and Azure Machine Learning Designer, these two don't need any programming background or no programming knowledge. They are very simple to use and anyone can use it. So all you have to do is just upload the data that you want, whether it's pictures, whether it's information, whatever you want, you just upload it, and you're able to train the machine in order to do whatever you want. So those are the very two simplest forms of machine learning that Microsoft Azure offers. And the other two, data and compute management and pipelines, those are for more experts and for the data scientists. Yeah, I hope you may check it out. So, moving on to understanding anomaly detection. As I said, we are limited. We cannot identify all mistakes and faults in the system. As I made an example of how I spent 3 hours on my code because I forgot one single comma. So, with the use of AI, I'm able to detect, I'm able to see the faults and mistakes in certain systems. Even when people are driving, they may not know what's wrong with the car. They may not know what's wrong. The car may appear fine, but now there may be a fault, and we cannot identify because everything looks fine. We are deceived. But now, with the help of artificial intelligence, it's able to detect that anomaly. It's able to detect that mistake, and it's able to correct us. So that's the type of technology that they use in self-driving cars. So if there's something wrong in that self-driving car, it will detect, it will alert the user that hey, there's something wrong, there's not enough gas, or the something's wrong with the gears. All of those things it detects it and it alerts to the user that so that something may be done, and it helps to avoid certain mistakes. If it was by ourselves, we wouldn't recognize it, we wouldn't even tell that there's something wrong. That's why I said we have limitations as human beings. But with the help of AI, with the help of the anomaly detection, it helps clarifies and picks up all those mistakes. As you can see in this small video with the example, with similar to what I've just mentioned, that something is wrong with the speed. The speed was going too fast. The driver was going too fast. So he had to stop and had to check that issue out so that he may avoid an accident. And these are just one example of anomaly detection. There's a lot of examples where, as human beings, we cannot identify mistakes. We cannot identify. We are in fact deceived that everything is all right. But with the help of anomaly detection, with the help of AI, we can avoid a lot of mistakes. with the use of this technology, anomaly detection. So it's just a brief, a brief, a brief, a brief, mm, a brief, a brief say of what is anomaly detection. Another example you can take a look at is, imagine that you are creating a software system to monitor a credit card transaction and detect unusual usage patterns that might indicate fraud, or an application that tracks an activity in an automated production line and identifies failures, or a racing car telemetry system that uses sensors to proactively warn engineers about potential mechanical failures before they happen. Can you just see how AI is helping us sort out those small mistakes that we are not able to do? It prevents a lot of things, and you can make a use of this in your everyday life as well. So with the use of AI, there's currently no, from my knowledge, there's currently no tool or something on Azure that we can use to, or in fact, there's an API. So if you want to make use of an anomaly detection in your application, you can just take and download the API from Microsoft Azure and implement it in your software or system that you want, and it's able to detect mistakes for you so that it can improve your work.
Seeing AI is a Microsoft research project for people with visual impairments. The app narrates the world around you by turning the visual world into an audible experience. Point your phone's camera, select a channel, and hear a description. The app recognizes saved friends.
Jenny near top right, 3 feet away.
Describes the people around you, including their emotions.
28-year-old female wearing glasses looking happy.
It reads text out loud as it comes into view, like on an envelope.
Ken Lawrence, P.O. Box.
Or a room entrance.
Conference 2005.
Or scan and read documents like books and letters. The app will guide you and recognize the text with its formatting.
Top and left edges not visible. Hold steady. Lease agreement. Disagreement exit.
When paying with cash, the app identifies currency bills.
$20 US.
When looking for something in your pantry or at the store, use the barcode scanner with audio cues to help you find what you want.
Campbell's tomato soup.
When available, hear additional product details.
Heated microwave bowl on high.
And even hear descriptions of images in other apps like Twitter by importing them into Seeing AI.
A close-up of Bill Gates.
Finally, explore our experimental features like scene descriptions to get a glimpse of the future.
I think it's a young girl throwing a frisbee in the park.
Experience the world around you with the Seeing AI app from Microsoft.
And there you go. One of the things that I forgot to mention earlier on, as I said, that AI helps to makes up for our shortcoming. With that being said, not everyone have the capabilities to do everything. We have some disabled people in today's society, and there's a lot of criticism and a lot of stigma against them, and they also have that feeling of being different, or they like something's wrong with them. But with the use of artificial intelligence, as I said, it helps make up for that. It helps make up for that disability. What they couldn't do before, they can do again with the help of AI. So if I am blind, I can make use of the app that we just saw to make sense of the world around me, to comprehend about what's happening around me with that app, the Seeing AI app that we just saw right now. And that helps blind people. That's just one of the things. There's also speech recognition. There's also translation. There's a lot of things. So if I am deaf, there's text to speech. So if I can't hear anything, I can just point my phone at what is being said, and then it's gonna put a transcribe for me, and I'm able to see, and then I can type it out and then respond. So its form provides a medium, or a middle link between those who are those who are disabled, and those are like are able to talk. So like I don't want to stigmatize anyone or anything, but my point is that I'm trying to make is that it provides a medium for everyone to communicate freely, to express themselves fully, and to feel fully appreciated, as I've just mentioned now. So let's look at computer vision and what it has to offer. As I said, that computer vision is the part of AI that visualize and make sense of the world around it using the camera, the image, and videos. So over here we have image classification. Image classification is us classifying or categorizing certain pictures together in a certain group. So if I have a picture of a taxi, of a bus, of a truck, I'm able to classify it together in one specific place. The artificial intelligence is able to tell me that this is a picture of a taxi, this is a picture of a bus, this is a picture of a truck because I classified it, I categorized it. So these are, yeah, out of all the vehicles out there, there's three types of vehicles. There's a taxi, there's either a taxi, there's a bus, or there's a normal vehicle, just for example's sake. And now that's what I told the model. And now when I test the model, it's able to tell me what type of car it is based on the classification, based on the category that I gave it. It's either a taxi, it's either a bus, or it's either a truck. So that's image classification. It classifies or categorizes pictures that you give it. Object detection. Object detection is, as it said, it detects objects in pictures, it detects objects in images. So as we see right there, we can detect we have certain objects in the picture. As you can see, we have a picture of a bus, we have a picture of a car, and we have pictures of cyclists. So we just train it. We train the model, we train the model that, hey, I want you to identify all the objects in the picture. So as we did over there, we showed that this is a bus, this is a car, this is a cyclist. So now next time we put a new picture, it's able to identify all the objects in the picture based on what we gave it. If I put a picture of a dog, if I put a picture with a dog inside the picture, it won't be able to recognize it because I didn't train it. All I trained it to recognize a bus, I trained it to recognize a car, and I trained it to recognize a cyclist. I never trained it to recognize, to detect a dog in the picture. So whatever I teach it to detect, it's gonna detect. Whatever I don't teach it to detect, it won't detect. So that is object detection. It detects objects or objects in images or videos. You can say that. The next one is segmentic segmentation. So segmentic segmentation is also like object classification. It's like image classification. I mean, it's like image classification, but instead of classifying car, truck, or bus, instead of classifying it like that, we classify it using it color. We're using color is as you can see. It says it's an advanced machine learning technique in which individual pixels in the image are classified according to the object in which they belong. So instead of classifying it car, truck, bus, instead of saying that, we use colors to as a key, as a reference to classify the object in the image, as you can see. So the color pink classifies the bus, the color blue classifies the car, and the color green classifies the cyclist. If I had to add a dog, I'll probably put the color brown for the dog. So next time I put a picture of a dog in there, it's gonna show brown for the picture for the dog according to what I trained it. So that's semantic segmentation. It uses colors as it uses colors to classify the objects the objects in the image. So moving on, we will go to image analysis. So often a confusion between image classification, object classification, and image analysis. So classification is us categorizing or putting it in a certain order, while image analysis is us talking more in depth. It's us um, going more in detail. What is that picture made up of? What does that picture consist of? While with object classification, we just say this is a car, this is a car, this is a bus, and this is a truck. But with the other picture, with image analysis, we can say that this is a picture of a car driving. This is a picture of a car of a truck stopping. This is a picture of a bus at the bus stop. So that's us going in detail, analyzing what is that image consist of, as you can see in the example below. A person is walking with a dog on the street. So it's able to tell us what is that image consist of, what makes that image, what is it composed of. That's what image analysis does. Image classification tells us what is it about in general terms. Like, okay, image classification categorizes that picture into a certain group or in certain order, but image analysis, it tells us more in depth about what the picture is about. And moving on, we can also do face detection, analysis, and recognition with computer vision. As you saw in the video I showed earlier on, we're able to detect the faces of those around us. We're able to detect their emotions, how they're feeling, and we can even tell the age. Isn't that awesome? Like the capabilities AI has given us, we all of these things we can do with our senses. I'm able to look at someone, I'm saying I can try and determine their age. I can try and determine how they're feeling, and I can try and recognize if I remember the person. But with the use of AI, it does it for it does that as well for us, but even at a better rate. So as I said, if I'm disabled, I'm blind, or I have a visual impairment, I just point the picture and I'm able to recognize my loved ones. I'm able to see what's going on around me based with the use of face detection and analysis and recognition. So face detection detects the faces, it analyzes the age, the emotions, and it also recognizes the person. So that's what it consists of. And last but not least, optical character recognition. Optical character recognition is the type of computer vision that that identifies the text in an image. As you can see, we see the Toronto Dominion Bank. It's able to identify the text in the image. So even those who have those receipts saving app on their phone, so you just take a picture of your receipt and looks for all the words on the receipt, and it captures it and saves it as a PDF. This is the type of technology that it uses, optical character recognition. It looks for text in an image. That's what it consists of. And the services that Microsoft Azure has to offer with regard to computer vision, it's computer vision, custom vision, face and form recognizer. All of these have a simple GUI interface for you to use, and also packages for those who know how to program and know their code in the backend. So they're able to use that as well. Um, I'll just show you right now in a demo, in a quick demo, for example, a quick demo. Loading. So there you go. Let's start from the beginning. So you see, so tell me to select an image. So now we're analyzing and describing the image, what it's made up of. Let's choose this image here. So you see, it tells us that it's an outdoor picture. It has skyscrapers, it has building, it's downtown, it's a city, it has vehicles, it has street description, it has a sky, it can detect the sky, it can tell us that it's busy because of of how it is there, and it's also a highway. So it tells us it detects these are all the objects that it detects in the photo that we've just chosen, and then it describes it. It's a view of a city street filled with traffic surrounding by tall buildings, 97% accurate. And then it also categorizes it. It's a racy content and adult content. Yeah. So there you go. So this is image classification and object classification all in one. Let's read text of an image. Let's choose this one. So it tells us that it tells us E26, it tells us Harmon Melville Square Way. So what it's written here on the all the text in this image is able to recognize and pick up. So this is OCR, optical OCR, optical image OCR. Basically, it's OCR. Let me just take a look. Optical character recognition. Optical character recognition. Yes. Um, So optical character recognition recognizes all the characters in this image, as you can see. Next one, let's still with the OCR. Steel cut oats with apricots, cranberries, and spice served with yogurt or milk. So you see, everything that all the words in this picture is just being said out, being transcribed as in a transcript form. For those who can see or have problem reading, they're able to recognize what is being said in the outdoor environment, and they won't feel left out. Even though they have that disability, they won't feel left out. They will actually feel like they are part of what's going on. And now this is face recognition. It's able to recognize that this is the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, and it has 100% confidence. So this is one demo. Another demo that we'll take a look at is one of my projects that I have done in computer vision. Project that I've done in computer vision. So this is customvision.ai is the one that deals with object detection and image analysis. So I made a car classification. I use custom vision to detect to classify the type of cars and to detect German shepherds. Let's quickly take a look at it, the demo. So this is the custom vision AI interface. So you see, I uploaded all my pictures that I needed that I needed that I uploaded all my pictures as a sample so I can train my model. So this is a model, class classification, and I uploaded my pictures to train this model. So let's quickly look at the performance of it. Um, loading. Loading. Okay, I guess because of time we'll come back to it. Because of time we'll come back to it. Yes, because of time we'll come back to it. It should load. But moving on.
So think about this. How often are you alive when the dawn of a new medium comes out? I knew that I had to be a part of VR because there are no rules for what VR should be. Starship Commander is a choose-your-own-adventure VR narrative that uses natural language processing, so you can actually have a real conversation with the characters.
I'm Sergeant Sarah Pearson. I've been assigned to your wing today.
When we started making Starship Commander, we had to figure out how do we get technology that can understand what a person's saying so that we can have these new narrative experiences. We're a science fiction game. We come up with new words. No off-the-shelf software could let us put in custom words.
Who are the Acneans?
In our story, the bad guys are called the Acneans. And every time we said Acnean, it would come up with really weird words that were similar to other things that you would say. And so it would get confused all the time. So we needed to make sure that we could supply our own script. We started using Microsoft Cognitive Services to power the back end of Starship Commander.
Looks cool.
Once we plugged custom speech service into Starship Commander, I had tears in my eyes when I was playing it because it's like, oh my god, this is it. This is the experience we want. Open the hatch.
Voice print accepted. Welcome, Commander.
You can essentially put your script in there and it knows, oh, these are the ways that people are going to talk. And these are the phrases that they're going to say.
Cool. What's my mission?
It must be something pretty important.
And then the second thing, too, was the intent detection. With Lewis, you basically give it a couple statements. After you've given it a couple statements, you crunch it and you start typing in your own statements. And it's shockingly scary how good it picks up, even stuff that you didn't put in there.
Computer, use autopilot and let's be on our way.
Autopilot engaging.
I've never seen an opportunity like this, where there's a wide open playing field. No one's written the rules yet. There's going to be tons of amazing software out there, and I just can't wait to see what other people write.
Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow. Because to think about what AI has to offer us, the things that we can do, we just saw it right now about how we haven't even lived in space, we haven't even touched space, but we able to make it so real that as if we've been there with the use of NLP, creating our own language, making use of language and to benefit what we want or to achieve the certain goal that we want. In this instance, in the game that in the video that I've just demonstrated, they're creating a game and they didn't want to use everyday language. They didn't want to use our everyday English or another language, but instead they wanted to make something new, something out of the blue. They wanted to think out of the box, and with the help of natural language processing, they were able to do that, create their own language, create a language that we've never even heard of, with words that we've never even heard of. And that's what AI does. It takes what we give it and turns it into something so that we can so turns it out, turns it into something different. Sorry about that. Turns it into something different. And let's dive in more on what is natural language processing. It enables us to create a software that can analyze and interpret text in documents, email messages, and other sources. It interprets spoken language and synthesizes speech recognition. It automatically translates spoken or written phrases between language, and it interprets commands and determines appropriate. one thing that he forgot to mention, one thing that he forgot to mention is that it can detect intent. It can detect your intentions based on what you tell it, but based on what you say to it. Can you just believe that? Like, I'm already mind blown on what AI, already on this, on what it has to offer us already. So as you saw in that game, it detected the intention. It detected. It's like we are living out of space, but we're actually here because of the how realistic it was with the interface and everything, even with the language. It's like we're not on planet Earth anymore. We're out of space with a new different language, with a new concept, and we can also apply it right now. So if you want something new, if you want to bring something new to your everyday life, or want to create your own language, or want to create into a game or an app that you want, you can use NLP in your program or application, as it will help you big time with all these features that I've just mentioned right now. It's so much that I can't even express it properly. So these are the services that Microsoft Azure offers for natural language processing. It offers text analysis, translated text, speech, and most but not least, LUIS, language understanding intelligence servers. So text analysis, it analyzes key phrases and text in the picture that you gave it. Translated text, it translates into more than different languages. Speech, it recognizes the recognizes and synthesizes speech into translate spoken language. And Lewis, it's a service that is used to train language models that can understand spoken or text based commands. So basically executing whatever we tell it to, and we're gonna take a look at it right now. After this, we're gonna go to the demo because of time. And there you go. We use this technology almost every day in the things that we do when we surf the internet. When we go onto websites, we use conversational AI. Every time you look at use a website and there's a chatbot next to it, you're literally having a conversation with the chatbot. So this comes down to businesses and companies who want to engage more with their customers and want to do it in a cost-free ways. Before, you'd have customer service, you'd have landlines, you'll even have FAQs asking you to inquire more about the service of the business and what they offer. So that was a long, lengthy process. So, to make it simple, with the use of AI, we able to engage with the customer. They made it easier for the companies to engage with the customers, so they can do all those things. So if you have questions about the business or the company or the service that they offer, all you have to do is just go on the website and ask the chatbot, and you have a conversation about it, and to inquire more information. No more calling customer service or waiting long hours on the phone just for them to pick up or bring in a concern or issue or to ask a question. All of this can be done using conversational AI. The same conversation that you will have with the customer service, or that with that company or whoever picking up the phone, you can have it with a robot, like as if you're talking to a real person. Like, isn't that cool? So bots are the basis of AI solutions for customer support for products or services, reservation systems for restaurants, airlines, cinemas, and other appointment-based businesses, healthcare consultation and self-diagnosis, home automation, and personal digital assistants. So our Siri, our Alexa, our Google Play, all of these have conversational AI within them. So when you say, "Hey Siri, tell me a joke," it's the type of things you would tell to another person to do for you, to tell you a joke, and that's what it has to offer, and that's how it's been implemented in our everyday life. So if you want to implement this technology, conversational AI, Microsoft Azure offers Q&A Maker and Azure bot services for you to make these conversations possible. So Q&A Maker make questions and answers for your website or application that you're trying to implement it in. And then Azure Bot Service it's that service that will enable you to use the Q&A maker. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at the demos just now. Um, but before that, I just want to talk about the guidelines that Microsoft has for using AI responsibly. So people are afraid that AI might be out of control. It might go rogue, or that it will take over the world. But for every tool, there must be a certain discipline or a certain way to use it properly so that it can benefit everyone. If something is mismanaged, it's going to have a big effect on the economy. So, so with great power comes great responsibility. And AI is also a great power, and we must use it responsibly. And Microsoft created these few guidelines to make it possible. We have fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, and exclusiveness, transparency and accountability. Fairness, it must be fair for everyone to use. Reliability and safety, it must be reliable, I can rely on it, and it must be safe for me to use whenever I'm using it. Privacy and security, that my information and my data that I'm giving is not being used or mishandled, and that it's safe and secure from those hackers and those crooks. In exclusiveness, it must be for every gender, for every race and organization. It must be for everyone to use, not just for a specific race, for a specific gender, but it must be for everyone. Transparency, you must your AI or your software or your system must be transparent. If there's something wrong or there's a certain way to use this AI, you must be able to be transparent or tell the users what they must do in order for them to use it properly, or to not hide any secrets from them. And accountability, to take responsibility, or to take full to take full what's this word, to take full responsibility for your software in case of anything goes wrong. So that's what accountability stands for. So before I end off, I'd just like to share these quick demos that we have missed out. um let's use this one. AI demos is loading now. Let's check on the custom vision. uh, Performance. Okay, it's still loading. Let's see. Okay, so with the custom vision one, this is the one I used. Let's upload. Let's do a quick test. So let's add a picture of. Let's add a picture of a car. Car. Let's add a picture of a car. Images. Mm, okay, let's choose one. Let's choose this one. Let's choose this one. copy link, paste the link. Okay, looks like it doesn't want to copy the link, but I know that we can use the link. See if I can drop it here. Let's try that again. And there you go. And now, as you can see, it's able to detect all the cars in this photo over here. Car 83.1%, car 39.2%, car 36%. And you see some mistakes. It says this is a car, this is a car. So that's why we need to train it. We need to upload more pictures so it's able to determine the type of to improve the results on this. So there's an example of object detection. It's detecting the cars in this picture. My other project, finish us now. To detect the German Shepherd, if it is a German Shepherd or not. Let's search for a pit bull. Pit bull. Pit bull. Pit bull. Pit bull. Okay, and open a new tab for German Shepherd. German Shepherd. So this tool over here, customvision.ai, is a very simple one to use. You don't need any programming background or knowledge. You can just use it as it is. You just upload your pictures, train it, and you have your model ready. But for those who want to use it via code, there's also an option for you to do that. So we have our pictures ready. Let's do a quick test. Let's add a picture of a pit bull and see what happens. This picture, let's add it here. Add a picture. Okay, so it doesn't. Let's just make sure that it loads the correct picture. But let's judge it. Let's pick this dog here. I have some samples test. You see, not a German Shepherd, 99.9%, and German Shepherd 0. So it's confident this picture is not a German Shepherd. But let's put a picture of a German Shepherd and see what happens. Let's put a picture of a German Shepherd. It is 99% sure that it is a German Shepherd. Like this is image classification. The one we saw previously with the cars was object detection. So this is customvision.ai that we got to see for custom vision. And now this has to do with NLP, natural language processing. So in our smart homes, the smart homes use this technology to make it work. So for example, I'm watching a movie. Apply. I'm watching a movie. Apply. applying. Let's see what happens. It switches on all the light in the room because I'm watching a movie. Give me mood lighting for cooking. Let's see what happens. Apply, apply. So as you can see, the lights increased there for the kitchen. I can't find the remote. Let's see what happens. It increases the brightness in the living room. I'm expecting guests for the last one, and there you go. It switches on the lights outside, and that is um that is the natural language processing in action. And last but not least, our last demo before we end. Um, the chat the bots, chat bots. So let's get started. Chat without chatbot. Let's see what it says. Hello. Hi, how can I help? Um, um, need help. Let's see what it will say. I need help. What are the services that you offer? Well, what are the services? Spell services. Let's see, when is my next appointment? So there you go. As you can see, it's like I'm having a normal conversation with somebody. Um, let's try one more thing. Um, what would be my co-pay? What could be my co-pay for for the glucola test? Ah, so as you can see, it's like having a normal conversation with other people, with a normal person. So instead of calling customer service, you're um, actually calling, you're actually talking to the bot in that regard. That regard. So a big thank you for attending my session, The Power of AI in Today's World. And I hope that you got to see the capabilities and the potential that AI is offering and how it's helping us in today's world and how it's changing our everyday life. It's no more the same as it was a few years ago, but it's now being different. Big thank you for once more for to Mark and the sponsors for giving me this platform, and I hope that you have learned something and you been enlightened with what I had to share with you today. Thank you.